Welcome to Caldwell County Today. I'm Paige Counts, Public Information Officer for Caldwell County. Joining me today is Keith Smith with the Caldwell Men's Chorus. Welcome, Keith.
It's nice to be here. I think this is my first time in the new year.
First time this year.
That's
First
it.
time this
Yes.
year, yes.
It's always good to be here, Paige.
Men's Chorus, what do they have coming up?
Okay, well, I'll give you just a little bit of background about us resuming. We, after COVID shut us down like so many folks and organizations, and we were privileged and blessed enough to come back in the fall for our first concert in over 2 years. So we're back going strong again now. I hope our guys are back and sounding better than ever. And we resumed in our spring semester that we just had, as of this taping, we had our 4th rehearsal last night, and we have about 12 more to go. Our spring concert is April the 29th, that's a Saturday. It's always at Lenoir Presbyterian Church, where they're gracious enough to allow us to come perform and rehearse, and in turn we sing for some of their services. Mm-hmm. That's what Pastor Rob always says, it's our payback to them, but they're great to work with. And so we're there on April 29th, that's a Saturday, at 7:30 p.m. It's a free concert to the public. You don't have to have any tickets, you don't have to do anything ahead of time, you just show up. But I come a little bit early to get a seat. So that's what we're gearing toward, and we'll talk about our program a little more. But in the meantime, as I said, we've been down for a couple of years, and we were very blessed to get a gracious donation or two, and we're resuming. So maybe some funding starts coming back, but also bills and expenses start coming back. But since we have been laid off and away for so long, we're looking for some fundraising opportunities, plus even more importantly, to get ourselves out into the community and let people know who we are, because I always say the Caldwell Men's Chorus is the best kept musical secret in Western North Carolina. And so we're trying to get out there. And it's Caldwell County, not just Lenoir. Lenoir is our root place. We do our concerts here, we rehearse here, and have a big following here, but we try to expand throughout the county. So on Valentine's Day, February the 14th, and that's a Tuesday night when we would usually meet and convene anyway, Chuck Raby, who's the director of the Recreation Department in Hudson, has graciously allowed us to come there and set up for the evening. And by the way, it's Chuck's 50th anniversary, the rec center, so I'll say that's their love affair of the town. They've been giving to the town for 50 years. So he's got a lot of nice activities planned this year, and you need to check them out. But he's allowing us to come on Valentine's night, and we're going to set up there at the rec in the Banquet Hall. Mm-hmm. And our men are going to be dressed in our full regalia of black tuxes and red ties and cummerbunds. And anybody who wishes to give a donation to our services can set up in 10-minute increments, can come and bring their sweetheart by, and we will serenade them and give them a rose. And it's a unique thing, but it also helps our group. So I'm kind of excited about that. And that's not a new thing. I mean, a lot of people have quartets that go around to people's houses at Valentine, but if our full group to sing, logistically we need it together in that one place. So we'll give more information at the end of this show, but I want to let people know they can call me to set up an increment between 7 and 9 on that evening if they care to bring someone by and have us serenade them, and they can surprise them or they can just let them know either way. But we'll be there.
Can you give us a hint of what you might sing?
Well, I can tell you our songs that
Okay.
we have. We have Let Me Call You, a couple of barbershop numbers, Let Me Call You Sweetheart, and Heart of My Hearts, I Love Thee, or I Love You. And those are both very barbershop, very appropriate for Valentine's Day. But we also are doing a piece called Can You Feel the Love Tonight, which I think is from The Lion King, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. It's definitely Disney.
It's a beautiful arrangement of that piece. And Glenn Neal, one of our singers, and our secretary in the group does the solo and does a phenomenal job on that. So Glenn will be serenading your person you bring of interest.
And Glenn is a big personality. If you don't know Glenn.
And a nice guy.
Very nice guy, so he will do a lovely job.
Yeah, and an incredible voice, but all the men sound nice with that. And then we're in Loch Lomond, which is the old Scottish tune. And so those four, either a couple of those or all of them, or depending on just how it sets up. Mm-hmm. And it's not like everybody comes and it's a concert. It's you bring your individual person in, and we focus on them, and then give them a rose, and get pictures made if they want those, and for a donation. At one time I had a set donation, but just give what you can. But again, remember, it's something that's unique for you, but also it helps our group, both recognition-wise and also with our funding. So if you will call me, and I'll give the number again later, but 322-3169, we can set up time increments. And I was telling you and Eric before we started that we already had a couple people, when I sent out an email blast about it, have already donated money, and I said maybe they were donating not to have us sing, but I don't think that's the case. I think people like to hear us sing. So I'm excited about that.
And as I'm sitting here listening, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone you're romantically involved in.
No, it can just be, bring your sister, bring your
mom, bring...
There are no limitations on who you bring.
Right.
So we're talking about now in the society in which we live, there are different types of relationships. It's just to sing and have a good time and to show some goodwill and some love and camaraderie. It's just something that is a little bit unique too.
It's sort of a mini personal concert or personal mini concert.
That's a good way to put it. That's what I was calling it, a mini concert. And
so, okay.
So I think that people would be appreciative if you brought them to hear us sing.
I think they would, and I think in my case, as I think about my family, I couldn't just bring my mom and dad. I have 2 aunts who probably would want to come too.
Sure.
So it wouldn't just be...
Yeah, if you bring a little family group, that's fine. But yeah, I hope that we'll be able to, that would be like 12 increments of 10 minutes during that 2-hour period. It's from 7 to 9 in the Banquet Hall at the Hudson Rec Department. And that would be like 12 sessions that we could book. So, and we started to come to people's houses and come out on the weekends, but it's just too logistically challenging, especially if we're bringing the whole group. If it was just a quartet, it would be different. But this year, at least, this is how we're doing it. And as I said, I'm excited about it. Our men are good. Paige can tell you.
They are excellent.
If you haven't heard them,
I know a lot of them personally, and they're a good group of men, but they have phenomenal voices. So it's definitely worth checking out.
And I'm going to try to mention all the men that sing, and I know I'll leave somebody out, but if you want me to mention, we have...
Go for it.
I think we have 21 or 22 this semester. We have Brian Clark, who's been a mainstay for years. We have our 3 new officers in the group who are all first tenors. And Brian, they're all first tenors. Doug McCowan, who is the vice president. I'll talk about the president in a minute. And then Glenn is our secretary, Glenn Neal, and Jonathan Duncan is our treasurer. All fine singers, all fine gentlemen. And then on second tenor, we have Kevin Parrish and Ken Twing and Cheryl German and Dwayne Mazinga and Kyle Cannerty and Reggie Green. So 6. And then on baritone, we have 5 singers. We have Mr. Caldwell, who, as we've talked about many times, taught me, and now he sings in our group. And he's the patron of our group at age 82. He doesn't mind me saying that. He's proud of it. And we used to have kids as young as 14. Now we're 30-something to 80. So we've got a good range still. But Mr. Caldwell, Aaron Norod, who is our president, he was vice president before the pandemic and came back as the president of the group. So it's him and the 3 tenors. And actually, I lied. Alan's just switched to bass to help me there because he's so versatile. But it's Mr. Caldwell, it's Adam Lowry, it's Doug Saunders, it's Robert Marshall, and oh gosh, we have a new gentleman, and I love him, Norm, and I can't remember Norm's last name right now. But Norm's a great guy. And a lot of the guys, you already knew him ahead of time. And those are the baritones. And then bass is Alan, as I mentioned, Rankin Whittington, John Daniel, and Dennis Bell, and Trev Moore, and Tim Boone, and am I missing one? That might be it. Lucas Duncan. Don't want to forget Lucas. He's a good guy. So there you have our men's chorus. So you probably, if you're here in Caldwell County, you probably know some of them. You
probably know at least one of them.
Yes.
And if you don't think you know them, you probably do. I mean, like, you probably have seen them somewhere because all of those gentlemen are out and about in the community.
Generally, people who are talented and who are involved do a lot of things. So you see them in other capacities. And these men, I want people to know that it takes a special kind of singer to be in men's chorus. We have, there are a lot of people who can sing or carry a melody or a tune, but these guys are really good at close harmony, and they developed those skills over the years. And we do have some new guys, but we do have, some joining us. We have people who have been there stalwarts for years and years, and it's a challenge to sing at the level they do. They all love it. Many of them are trained, not all of them. A lot of them used to be music teachers in school or direct their choirs at church, or did, or still do. So it's a good collection of gentlemen. So I'm very proud of them.
And some of these folks have been in some of the plays at the Hub.
They have. We got several that are involved in both theater, and we'll talk about that another show, but in theater and sing, and sing in my Home for Christmas choir and do various things. So yeah, they have a lot of connections, but it's just, again, they're all volunteers. They all give of their time, so I'm very appreciative and grateful for that.
And so people understand, how do you use the funds that you raise?
They just go back in. There's not, we're looking at trying. Well, I'll give you an example. I think this is okay to say. We gave, when Greg Knight, our accompanist, passed away a little bit over a year ago now, we gave his family some funding to try to help with his medical bills. And also we gave money to a scholarship that the Western Piedmont Symphony has in Greg's name for visiting artists. They pay those visiting artists out of that Greg Knight fund, and we wanted to be a part of that since Greg was such a part of us. It's just buying the music, a couple of small salaries here and there. And if we bring in somebody to play the tuba, we may pay them $50. It all adds up. And we're not trying to maintain a huge kitty in the bank. It's just that we have it. We're a nonprofit group. Everything's very well documented. We're a 501(c), is that how you say it, company? And it's just we want to have enough funds on hand to know that we're not, going in the hole.
Right.
And so we try to maintain. We're not stocking up and storing up. So.
But there are expenses.
Oh,
and you
sure.
Also by giving to the Western Piedmont group and others, you are supporting the community.
Sure.
So.
Well, yeah, it all feeds back into the community. We're trying to stay alive and active, and we have our two main concerts, one in the spring and one in the fall. But in addition, we try to do some other things as well. Occasionally, we'll have a Christmas concert. We've gone and sang at churches. If somebody wants to book us for something, and we've done it for like sororities, we've gone places. We've gone down and sung in Raleigh. We've sung in the Charlotte area, but we're mainly here in Caldwell County. But if you have any interest in the men singing, you can always contact me and let me know that you have interest, and we can see what we can do. It's like everything else, Paige. It's harder. It was getting this way back even before COVID. It's harder and harder to find good people to continually commit because we all have such busy schedules. And it became worse after COVID. So I'm very thankful that our men have hung in and basically have all come back, and for the most part, and we've added some new ones, and so I feel good, but it's always about that sustaining. So.
And your spring concert is Saturday, April 29th.
That's correct.
At 7:30 at First Presbyterian Church, Lenoir.
Well, Lenoir Presbyterian.
Lenoir Presbyterian
yes,
Church.
Yes.
Okay.
And as I said, they're very supportive of us. And again, you just show up for that. But in the meantime, I hope you will take advantage of this. Come by and see us practice a little bit, even if you don't do that. So, and I was going to mention the songs.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a very eclectic group of songs or styles of songs that we do. We do sacred and secular. We do within the sacred range. We do spirituals, a lot of spirituals. We do good arrangements of steadfast hymns that have been around for a long time. We do some old gospel-y type things, and other sacred music. And we do, on the other side, the secular side, we do a lot of ballads, English ballads, Irish ballads, Scottish ballads. We do show tunes. We do patriotic music. We do cowboy songs. We do songs from musicals. And so our concert this year features, this spring, it's an old 50s doo-wop thing. The Lion Sleeps Tonight is that style. And then we have our little male segment of stout-hearted men and manly men and Mighty Mouse. And you know how you always say I come up with some surprises and things?
Yes.
We've got more in this concert than I've ever had before, so keep your eye out. You'll enjoy coming
And
to
if
see
Keith
what we
says
do.
he has a surprise, folks, he has a surprise. There's something that will take place during that concert. So
Yes.
it's worth it to go see what Keith has up his sleeve.
Well, it's and again, I just had to find people who are willing, and thank God our guys are willing to go so far. They don't go sometimes as far as I want them to in making fools of themselves, but they throw it out there pretty well. And then after Mighty Mouse, we do Loch Lomond, have a nice solo with that with Ken Twing, who's a fine singer and does a lot of our shows at the Hub as well. And then we have, in the spring concert after this Valentine's Day thing, we have Let Me Call You Sweetheart and something special attached to that, and Heart of My Heart, and then the one that I mentioned, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And then that's all secular music. And then the second half of our concert, we open with Just a Little Talk with Jesus, which is a very nice, delightful arrangement of that old gospel tune. And then we have Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho, and we have Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing, which Come Thou Fount of Every, which a lot of people know. But this arrangement was Robert Austell, who used to be an associate minister at the Presbyterian Church where we sing back around the turn of the century, the millennium, and even before. So we do his arrangement of that. Very challenging arrangement, but very nice. And then we'll do Great Is Thy Faithfulness, which is one of our standards. And we finish with a song called Praise His Holy Name that's very gospel-y, spiritual. Yeah, it's a very nice arrangement of that. And I need to mention that our accompanist now, this semester, I'm delighted, is Sherry January, who was a long-time teacher at Hudson Middle School, music teacher, and she's retired. And she's a fine musician, a fine singer, fine player, fine accompanist, so we're very delighted to have her with us this semester. But I was just thinking about her because we rehearsed last night. She was jamming down on that last Praise His Holy Name. Yeah, so you'll get to enjoy that. But again, it's a nice array of music, and we'll have some other instrumentalists join us, at least a bass and a drum on a couple of the pieces.
Very exciting. But tell us one more time, give us the details about the Valentine's Day.
I'm sure you'll put my name up on a number on the phone.
Will.
If you'll call me at 828-322-3169, if you want to set up a session for you to bring someone to the Hudson Recreation Center on Valentine's night, February the 14th from 7 to 9, we'll be in the Banquet Hall, and we'll let people come in 10-minute segments. You can let them know what you're doing. You can try to surprise them. Good luck with that, but you might be able to do that. And we'll be in full concert regalia, black tuxes and red ties and cummerbunds with roses and good sentiments for all. And we will be there from 7 to 9, as I said. So 10-minute sessions we could do up to 12 sessions. And if you'll call, we'll set up a time for you to come for a donation of your choice. We did have a set amount, but I've done away with that. And by the way, we rely on donations at concerts, or we do have a list of givers who we send things to every year, but we do not take up any money, sell no tickets for shows. They're all free. So if you can give, that's great, but if not, we encourage you to attend. We just want people there to hear us because these guys are worth hearing. So you set up the thing with me, and then you come that night, and you're sung and serenaded and sung to, and so it should be a fun evening.
It sounds like a fun evening, and remember, folks, there's only 12 slots, so you need to be calling Keith early.
Yeah, and if we, just to be completely honest and transparent, we say, oh, you better get it while it lasts. I'll be delighted if we fill all 12. But we're giving people the opportunity, and we're there, and we're out in the community, and we're trying to continue a name for ourselves because this group deserves to be heard. Like I said, I'm very proud of them. And then the big concert, the main concert, is Saturday, April 29th at Lenoir Presbyterian at 7:30, free of charge. And if you come earlier to the Gravity Games where they have the go-karts, it seems to always be on a concert day for us, but that's in the morning and done by early afternoon, so there'll be no traffic to impede you. And as I said, the church is very gracious to allow us to both practice and perform there. Great acoustics in the auditorium there at Lenoir Presbyterian, so please plan to come to that. No needed tickets, just come early and get a seat.
If people can't make it on Valentine's Day, and they want to make a donation, how do they do that?
They just make out the check to Caldwell Men's Chorus, and I don't have them handy in my mind, but they could mail those checks to either Jonathan, our treasurer, or Glenn, our secretary, just to let them handle it. Or they can mail them to me, it doesn't matter. They need to be made out to Caldwell Men's Chorus, and they will be acknowledged, and it's a tax-free write-off if people want to use that. But if you call me, I'll get you all the information, and you can take care of that, and that'd be wonderful.
Okay, Keith, so we're looking forward to Valentine's Day and then April 29th for the men's concert.
That's right, and that's the main things we're doing this semester. And then we take a break in the summer and resume in the fall. If you are a singer who sings close harmony, we're probably not adding anybody new this semester, but we're always considering people, and we're trying to bring in younger people all the time too. And we've had a few in the past, but we want to continue to do that. People in young for us is in your 50s, but 40s, 30s, 20s, teens, it's all good. If you can sing parts, we don't have men singing the melody an octave lower or something. Even if you got a very nice voice, I'm not saying that, but it takes a special ear to hear that close harmony.
Mm-hmm. Keith, thank you for your work with Men's Chorus.
Enjoy it.
And thank you for watching Caldwell County Today.